Short-term rental cheat code 25. Treat people like they're at the end of their ropes. Now, how did I come up with this idea? It was actually an experience. So let me share this story with you. When I was in Costa Rica, I went there with some really big expectations. I went there with my wife. We had tons of real estate investors there, had an awesome community experience. I was looking forward to some beaches, got to see some coatis and some amazing wildlife like iguanas, do some awesome zip lining. So here's the reality of what happened. When we arrived, we had not been able to sleep well on the airplane. We were exhausted. Not only that, it was very humid there, which I absolutely love the heat because I was coming from Utah, it was cold. Over there, it was humid, so we were sweaty. We did not get to have time to go to the restroom before we got on this hour bus ride to get there. Our check-in process actually happened outside in the heat and the humidity, and because we weren't the first ones off the little transport, we got in the back of the line, which ended up being about an hour before we could even get our room key. And then by the time we got to our room, they have a full service staff there, and we had a bellhop that insisted on taking our bags, which was awesome, but then instead of leaving them at the door, he walked into our room and for 15 minutes explained to us what all of the features we had in our room was, which if we had been really well rested and were showered off and clean, it would have been totally awesome. But it was the most frustrating thing. I just wanted to very kindly say, please leave now because we want to take a shower and a nap. And we didn't get to have lunch either, so it was like, I need to go order food because it's like 2 in the afternoon and we haven't eaten since breakfast and we're tired, hungry, and really frustrated. And I just remember right as that guy left, we shut the door, I locked the door, I'm grabbing my head like this and my wife just bursts into tears. She's like, oh my gosh, this was the worst experience ever. And it was so interesting because all of the things, had we been clean and been able to had a shower and then had that experience, totally would have been different. But it made me realize that if we treat our guests as if they're having that type of experience, that they are tired, that they are hungry, that they are really like warm and they might need to take a shower, whatever it is that they're experiencing, if we give them that really smooth, clean check-in experience, suddenly we can absolutely change the entire way that they experience their whole trip, right? That check-in experience is so important. So how do you treat people as if they're at the end of the ropes? Make sure that the check-in experience is without any hitches and that they know not only what their door key is, but as quickly as possible, let them to get into that unit and have a shower and be able to enjoy themselves, right? That is one of the most valuable experiences that I've ever had. So after that, we had an awesome trip. I loved it. Remember, you got to treat people the way that they want to be treated, right? This resort, they're like, man, people probably want to be escorted into their room. I didn't. So what I learned from that is just because it's a way that you want to treat people doesn't necessarily mean it's the way that they want to be treated. I learned that from Woody Woodward. And honestly, this trip was amazing. I loved the other elements of it, like being able to see the iguanas that were live. They were all over there. There's one up in the trees. We saw monkeys. It was so cool. I loved it. But that experience of figuring out, hey, if the check-in experience isn't quality, right, isn't really smooth, it can taint the rest of your experience. So, hope that was valuable and go use it. Treat people the way that they want to be treated.